At Sweetbaby Inc., we revise your favorite games to make sure they're woke, diverse, inclusive and spread tolerance through the world.
Oh, then I'll make a list so people know which titles you worked on.
Hello! Do you guys remember the 2 other videos where I mentioned Sweetbaby Inc.? I thought there wasn't much more to cover, however, a lot has happened. So to give a quick summary of who Sweetbaby Inc. is, they're a company that turns games woke. When I say woke, I mean like actually woke. They influence storytelling, game development, and more by diversifying it. I don't have an issue with a game that's diverse inherently, but I do have a problem if it's forced. Forced diversity is diversity for the sake of it, even if it doesn't make sense. This plague has infected the gaming industry so much that it's gotten rotten to its core. Now, you the viewer may ask yourselves, how did this happen and why it's happening? These questions will be answered before this video ends. I'm gonna mention a company name a lot in this video, so instead of Sweetbaby Inc., I'm just gonna say SBI for short. SBI has gone into even more hot water lately because of their actions. People have gotten so fed up with them ruining games that a blacklist popped up. A Steam group by the name of SBI Detected made that list in the curator page. This helps people make a more informed purchase when they're looking for games. The existence of this list got the actual employees to respond to it on Twitter. They responded, and let me tell you, they were not happy about the news. They were seething so much that they attempted to stop the boycott. How would they stop it, you may ask? The same way other progressives similar to them do. They false mass report and slander it. They were throwing the word harassment around like it's fucking candy, claiming harassment. It got to the point where one of the employees got suspended on Twitter. Get fucked. They also tried to cancel the one who made the group. Yes, they found his Twitter. Here's the best part. When people were getting fed up with them, they digged in. Turns out, there were some tweets which were not so progressive by SBI employees. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look, I'm not here to cancel anyone. I'm just here to point out the blatant hypocrisy. So as it turned out, a lot of the things they labeled others seemed to apply to them. These tweets were deleted right after someone pointed it out. The tweets can still be viewed from archived sites for anyone to see. Some were quick to point out that the Steam discussion threads had some rage threads that were either made by SBI employees or was a bait. One of the rage threads was of a user with a community ban, which indicates to me that it's a bait. When I say bait, I'm of course referring to people looking for reactions or farming Steam points. Just be aware of that. When it comes to the Steam curator list, it got changed because they relied on EMDB for it. For those that don't know, EMDB is not a reliable source since anyone can edit the list. Right now the curator is taking the info from SBI's own website instead to track those games. Something I and a couple of others found weird is that Spider-Man 2 was not on there. It wasn't on the curator page, but it was on SBI's own website in the game list there. I did some digging and I found out that it wasn't on the curator list because it's not on Steam. So that's an issue, that the tracker can only track games that are on Steam. I think that should be addressed as a disclaimer on the curator page. This Steam group has inspired me to make a similar Steam group. This one will be focusing on greed in games like microtransaction and pay to win, instead of woke games. I don't expect it to be big since I have a small channel, so it will be a small reach. So, why is this identity politics in games happening, I hear you say? I think it's happening because of how much game companies are overcompensating. Let me elaborate on this. Game companies in the West is desperate for ESG. So much that they're willing to ruin their own game just for a higher ESG score. If you didn't already know, ESG stands for environmental, social and governance. And investors care a lot about a stock's ESG rating. So a good ESG rating, which game companies gets from SBI, equals more investors. In this case, at the expense of the game's quality, suffering. I think that's how ESG works, but I could be wrong on that, since this is my very basic, oversimplified understanding of ESG. Also, games started getting to the $70 price tag, and CEOs are firing expensive developers. EA, for example, fired a huge chunk of people at once, and this was recent. If you think it's just EA doing it, then you're sadly mistaken, because others are doing it too. I made the prediction in the past that greed in games will cause a video game crash. Now I predict that both greed and identity politics will cause a second video game crash. The future is not bright, bros. On a positive note, other game categories will start to shine, like VR games, indie games and older games, since those doesn't get plagued by those two parasites.
But wait! There's more!
The rabbit hole goes deeper. There are rumors now that there are two companies called Weird Ghost and Baby Ghost that are funding ISB, which are also just as progressive in their ideology, it seems, as ISB is. My impression is that these two companies are a parent company, but I could be wrong on that assumption. Also, these two companies and Sweet Baby Inc. all come from Canada. Wild coincidence, am I right? Wait, Sweet Baby Inc. is from Canada, and hate speech laws are a thing in Canada. And they made a tweet saying, abort all. I can see why they deleted the tweet. Wow. They would get fucking arrested for that over there. This is fucking insanity. If this was a fascist saying this, he would get his account suspended immediately for anti-Semitism. But because it's a communist saying it, it's somehow advertiser friendly. Anti-Zionism is just the far left's version of anti-Semitism. Both are equally as vile. Anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism are two sides of the same coin. Just like how fascism and communism are two sides of the same coin. And I hate that companies are playing favoritism over this, rather than giving consistent punishment. Going deeper inside the rabbit hole, people found out that there were 14 companies with connections to Sweet Baby Inc. Not much to say there, that's about it. Going even deeper into the rabbit hole, people are finding connections between Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate. I can't believe we're getting Gamergate, the sequel, Gamergate 2. Sargon of Akkad finally got what he wanted, the long-awaited sequel. Jokes aside, the connection that people found were a tweet of Zoe Quinn mentioning one of the Sweet Baby Inc. employees in 2014. If I didn't initially see that tweet, I would have been skeptical, but I believe it now. Some even think that Gamergate never ended, and that this is just a continuation of it. If Sweet Baby Inc. ceased to exist as a company, some other company like Weird Ghost or Baby Ghost will probably take their place. I know a lot of things I've said in this video sounds conspiratorial, and I don't blame you for thinking that, but this is what it looks like to me, and many others. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know if I got some stuff wrong in the video. Considering how much of a rabbit hole this is, I could be wrong on a couple of factors. I've probably got a few things wrong, hopefully only small ones, if that's the case. Make sure to like if you enjoyed the video or dislike, and comment below if you disagreed with anything I had to say. If you want more gaming related commentaries, make sure to abort that subscribe button harder than the Sweet Baby Inc. employees abort. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video next week. So long.